Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We're covering Love Island UK, Season 7, Episode 8. Now, Chris, can you smell that in the air? I smell some one-star reviews could be in the pipeline. Because I tell you what, if you are someone out there who always defends the boys, you're not going to like what I've got to say. If you're someone out there who always defends the girls, you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say. Because, Chris, I am coming hot for this shower of bastards, right?
The floor is yours.
I've got both fucking barrels loaded for the lot of them. But I tell you what, Chris, fucking loved it. Best episode of the season so far for me.
I totally agree. Now, Dave, it's usually me who offends everyone, so I'm letting you do the business. So where do you want to go with this? Because I'm dying to hear what you've got to say.
Right, hold on, because I'm getting my shovel right here. Okay. Right, we'd seen the first look. We'd seen the preview from yesterday, and we saw the first look, and I was like, oh, I am so certain, because Hugo has had all these Gareth-type tendencies, hasn't he? You know, his comedy's a little bit off. You know, he wants to be one of the lads. He wants to be liked. He basically is a combination of Gareth and David Brent. And so I'm thinking, oh, what's he going to say? You know, he's going to properly, like, fucking offend someone with something bad. And then when they were doing the whole game, and he, you know, they kept going, you know, he used the word fake 2 or 3 times. And then it cuts to commercial. And in our Discord chat, we're all like, that's not it, surely. Because he kept cutting away from Hugo and going to the girls. It's like, oh, he needs to educate himself. Oh, I fucking can't believe he said fake. Oh, my God. I'm like, is that it? I couldn't fucking believe it at all. And yeah, I was just amazed that it was such a nothing thing, right? Now, this is where I'm going to be digging a little bit further here, right? If you have some sort of fucking plastic surgery, like, right, good fucking luck to you. It's your body. Do what the fuck you want. But, and also, Sharon, not everyone has plastic surgery because they've got deep-rooted fucking psychological issues, which seems to be your implication there. So I don't understand it. I don't get. And fucking the last rant that is probably going to put me into some fucking sort of prison, Chris, like a Twitter prison, not an actual prison. Don't you fucking dare to use similar arguments to those of racism, talking about people educating themselves and stuff. They're likening having a bit of plastic surgery to fucking real things like racism and misogyny. And I was just like, you might have had a bit of a... I think Hugo, ultimately, he touched on a nerve, didn't he? He like, you know, he hit a spot that people were really offended about. If they're offended and a bit upset by it, fine. Vocalize it. Say, oi, knobsock, I'm fucking not happy with that. I've got issues. This is why I've had this work done. All right, that's fine. Okay, sorry about that. But the fucking drama it created, Chris, was such a nonsense. And the arguments were nonsense as well. I rest your case. Rest my case, Your Honour. What say that to you, Chris?
Going forward, it's going to be called the Chris Reality Cast, people. No, listen. I totally agree. For me, fucking Faye and Sharon are a pair of fucking slapped arses. Faye had the audacity. You know what, Dave? I'm sorry. I've said this from this. Faye's horrid. And from this fucking start, she's been a bitch, moaning. She was. You know why a lot of this started? Because all the guys picked Chloe as the fucking person they'd get with. They went with a partner.
She fucking hates Chloe.
And she went, oh, and just give the girl a bit more of an ego boost. It's like, what is your problem? I'm not a massive fan of Chloe, but she's not done anything wrong these last few episodes.
Yeah.
She's with Hugo. It was nice for her to pick Hugo. You know, I don't see anything that she's done. And it's just pure fucking jealousy. But what really boiled my fucking piss, Dave, and it really did boil my piss, I might end up being hotter than you, is Faye had a go at Hugo about body insecurities. The man's got a fucking disability. And that fucking idiot, he's got a disability and he's got the bollocks to go on a show like, I'm not saying what he said was right. His delivery was wrong, because the second time he said it was almost like he was having a dig at the girls. I sort of get why they reacted. I'm not excusing him, but the man has got a fucking disability when he's going on a show that is all about body image. If these people are so upset about their body image, having boob jobs, if they're fucking unbelievable, they're pumping themselves up with fucking collagen, all sorts of stuff, you know what I mean? You do that, that's fine. If it makes you happy, good. But don't go on a fake this show is a fake real life fucking relationship based on how you fucking look. How are you going to react when someone says you're fake? They all reeled off what they had. Part of the game was, what work have you had done? There was only Kaz who stepped up, I think, and said, I've had no work done. Do you know what I mean? So what I interpreted the first time he said fake as he meant someone who's pretending to be who they're not. And that is every single person on fucking Love Island, man or woman, is fake. They all want to feather the fucking career. They all want something after this show. Nobody's on this show looking for love. If they find it, great. That's second fucking nature. I love Love Island. We're 7 seasons in. It's fucking fake. The whole show is fake. Hugo's a teacher. What is he doing on fucking Love Island? Because he wants something better in his life, Dave. Nothing to do with fucking. He's not going to enrich his fucking pupils' lives, is he? By going on Love Island,
he's not going back to teaching.
Is he? Like that guy. Was it Mike who was the cop last year? He was great at Manchester Police.
Oh yeah.
Remember? My sister-in-law and that knew of him through like work, and he was never going to be. He'd gone, never seen again. Dave,
Michael, the fireman.
Mike. He was Mike, one of the policemen.
Mike was the last season, wasn't he? He was the copper.
The copper, yeah.
He's not going to go back to doing that. And Michael from season 5.
Fireman. He's never been back to be a fireman, Dave.
Yeah, exact,ly. He's been on all the other reality shows.
Everyone I've seen in the UK, fucking Mike pops up, fucking Michael pops up. But what really annoyed me was Faye again, Miss Right, and Sharon just fucking. Hugh, the second time he did it, I sort of get it, but I'm just like, this is pathetic. This is absolutely, and I'm going to say it, it's fucking bullshit from China, Dave. Absolute nonsense. But I fucking loved every single minute of it.
I fucking did as well. We died to get onto the mics. Despite all the abuse, I'm sure that's going to come our way. I put this question to you, Chris. If Brad had said that, do you think the girls would have reacted the same? Or Jake? If one of them two had said that, do you think the girls would have reacted the same? Or do you think, because it's Hugo as well, do you think the reaction was a bit over the top because it was him?
Yeah, because he didn't the other guys would have reacted back, I think. They would have, whether they were right or wrong. I mean, look, Brad is not a fucking nice guy, is he really? Let's be honest.
They're a bit more alpha male, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I just think they've picked on Hugo deliberately there.
Yeah. It was
sorry, go on.
Sorry. And then the fallout is Aaron's been looking for an excuse to jump off the Sharon relationship. Well, he's got it straight away. He's like, I don't agree with this. I don't. And they were, I know what was funny though, Dave, was Hugo saying, it's all right, boys, I've got this. And then 2 minutes later, he's in tears. And I'm like, you should have fucking brought him with you, Hugo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking hell.
But online, last thing I'll say, online, I have not seen many people supporting Faye and Sharon's argument. Every single person, man and woman I've seen online, and probably 95% has been, they were out of order. What is the overreaction? I don't get it. And they were all saying, why are you going after Hugo? So I'm not saying there is a bit of blame for Hugo, but I think once he explained himself, that should have been it. Full stop, end of the game. But Faye just is a bitch. Faye is horrible. I'm sorry.
I think you've hit on something there with saying about the Chloe question, like who would you fancy? What was the question? Something like, who do you fancy, or who would you be coupled up with if it wasn't your partner?
Yeah.
And Chloe kept coming up time and again. I think you might be onto something there, where that kind of was like the foreplay, that warmed them up for getting really pissed off with the fake thing. Because again, Chris, I kind of like what Chloe's been. Before we came in, when we did our preview, I'm like, this looks like she's a bit of a fucking home wrecker. It's not a very nice trait to have, so don't think I'm going to like her. But since she's been in the villa, I think she's got the right amount of kind of confidence within herself. She's got a bit of banter. She doesn't go around having a face like a slapped arse, like Faye, sniping at everyone else. Faye's the one who's got a fucking chip on her shoulder. She's saying like, I don't know why he's picked Chloe. Like, we both look the same. No, you fucking don't. And your attitude fucking stinks most of the time, right? Yeah. So I don't get it. Now, what I'll say is, for Sharon, I think she got pissed off. Did she have a right to be pissed off? Well, if she's going to get pissed off, she gets pissed off. The thing is, though, she soon... when Hugo turns on the waterworks, she kind of, the empathetic side of her kind of comes out a bit, doesn't she? Now, whether you think that's right or wrong, and she kind of climbs down off her high horse and realizes, like, he's not meant anything malicious. I think Sharon, from initially all the girls, well, mainly it was Faye and Sharon, wasn't it? Who just got really fucking angry with it. But Aaron, you said, like, let me switch lanes now. Aaron, as you said, was looking for an excuse. We'd seen him, he's like, he's talking about a career, and you know what? I kind of like handing out flyers at clubs, having a nice time there. So I don't like this career talk. He was looking for a fucking excuse. And so her, like, getting a bit animated, and she absolutely did contribute to the drama. That's provided the final kind of push for him to say, I'm not into this. And again, that's his choice, but he can't make that the only thing. So when they have that kind of difficult conversation, he can't make that drama. He said, like, about she was an embarrassment, I think he said. Which again, I'd literally just watched episode 3, season 2 of The Office, where David Brent says that to one of the women when he's trying to fish for like compliments and stuff, and she says to him, you've let yourself go a bit, haven't you? So what about you? You're an embarrassment, love. So there's so many parallels to The Office here. So yeah, I think Aaron, I mean, he's the first boy that I'll put on the shit list as well, but like I say, pretty much all of them are, Chris.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he had an argument to say, look, I don't agree with the reaction. It's just like, why are you getting involved in it? Because Aaron had said he's a chilled out guy. He doesn't want any, look, he's on the wrong fucking show if he doesn't want drama. Let's be honest, Dave. That's. But what I would say from a subjective point of view, and we had some great chat on like Twitter, Facebook, on Discord, everything. Everyone had different opinions, and it was really good to have the varying opinions tonight. But this was almost a social experiment and something unraveling in front of your eyes, the cancel culture, Dave. That there's plenty of people deserve to be fucking cancelled. Let's not, in my opinion, there's loads, and they have quite rightly been cancelled for some of the horrendous things they've done. But that was almost like, let's get half a story and go with a narrative. They didn't ask him or anything. They just went at him. And then straight away it was like, oh, hang on. He's in fucking tears. Wait a minute. We might get called bullies. All right. Everyone hug it out. We're all friends again. That's what I found really interesting about tonight's episode, whether it's right or wrong or people disagree with us with Hugo. And I don't, I'd hate for people to think it's just we're ganging up because we're the guys, and we have it from a male perspective.
Oh, there's plenty to come for them. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, no, the guys have got loads to talk about. But it just felt like I was watching in front of my eyes a cancel culture little campaign happen all of a sudden.
You think they're very aware that the cameras are there, and so they're like, "Oh fuck, we might look bad in this." And so, Faye made a point, didn't she? She was like, "I was upset about it." Hugo made his point. We discussed it like adults. It's done now.
Yeah.
You think that's driven from, this awareness of looking bad?
Partially, yeah, because in the past on Love Island, there has been instances of like, well, I'm not saying they're bullying him. It was a reaction to a comment, but I'm just saying that the way they sort of went at him, he was sort of him v them, and whether he's right or wrong, I think they knew what was going on. So look, it's done now. As far as I'm concerned, if you fall out with somebody, I piss you off, I apologize, I'm really sorry. Can we move on? If you can't move on, then we're not friends. If you can, we hug it out. I'm sorry, let's not do that ever again. And that's it. That's how it should be. Just deal with it. That's it. Unless it's unforgivable, but that wasn't unforgivable. He's calling a load of fake people fake. So what's wrong with that?
But he wasn't. He wasn't fucking calling them fake. The question was around what his preferences were.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It's not as if he was going, look at the fucking state of that over there. I mean, it's so obvious you've had work done. Fucking hell, wouldn't touch that with a barge pole. He wasn't saying anything like that. It was about what his preferences were. And I think the more that I think about it, the more I just think it's partially because he's Hugo. He's like the kind of friendly one. He's the smaller, weaker one. He's not the alpha male. And they've just fucking gone for him.
Yeah. And right, so here's an analogy. This is a Chris analogy now. I'm going to get myself in so much trouble for this.
I'm going to get the popcorn.
This is the trouble.
We'll be fucking cancelled, both of us, from our own podcast.
I'll read the statement about you getting cancelled and you read mine. I'm like, see ya. We'll call ourselves the DC reality.
Decided to spend more time with their families.
With the families, yeah. I wanted a career change. I'm going on a journey. Right, so... this is my analogy. So what I think, and you're right, he was basically more aesthetically, what he's saying is, if you see, you know what, the more I think about this, I'm not even going to say it. Right, no, just move on. I'm going to get myself so much fucking, I don't even think I can deliver this.
Is this where the brain has caught up to the mouth? Yes. And it's like, hold on, Nelly.
Hold on there, son. So, fucking hell. No, let's not, Dave. I can't articulate it without absolutely putting a fucking target on my back. So I'm not going to say it, Dave. But all I'll say is you watch certain things on TV and you see someone who is natural or fake. And I would always go with the natural person, not the fake looking one. That makes sense.
So that's your preference. You fucking see you next Tuesday. How dare you have that preference?
Yeah, I was going to use a certain type of movie for that day, but that's what I was getting at. I don't know how I'm going to deliver this, so you know what I'm saying. But anyway, cool.
Yeah, I think we all know what sort of movies you're talking about.
I'm talking about the soaps, Dave. If you don't mind, that's a disgrace.
Chris, I'm gonna put something different to you. I've got two daughters. You've got a daughter. Faye's talking about her mum and dad paid for her to have a boob job because she was underdeveloped. I don't like that whole statement, right? She might have been upset with the way she looked and she wanted to have bigger breasts. Fine. That's her personal choice. I don't like the fact that she's called it underdeveloped.
Yeah. Because
it implies that every girl has got to have massive tits.
Yeah.
They fucking don't. And I don't want an image. I don't want my daughters growing up with the idea that they have to look like that.
Yeah. I agree. I think that, you know what, Dave, that's fantastic a statement because I've watched the Kardashians since the start. It's just finished. Kylie Jenner looks nothing like the girl that she was when she was 16, 17. She's a billionaire now. She's got massive business, but that girl looks nothing like what she did. And I totally agree with that because it's almost like, well, I look like this, but wait till I get old enough to have surgery. It's not. And someone did say that online. One of the ladies who follows us actually said a comment about, well, why would you want your daughter to be watching this and feel that this is acceptable? Look, I'll be completely honest with you. Forget the jokes, everything. I'm dead open about this. My biggest struggle through life has always been my weight. Always has been. I've had massive hang-ups over it, even when I've been really skinny and everything. And that's why I've always trained, and I'm never in peak condition. But there's a couple of times in my life I can look back and go, yeah, I have that hanging with me every single day. What I'm going to eat, me training, this challenge is great that we're doing because it makes me accountable, because I'll hide. I won't weigh myself. I'll hide from doing things, all that stuff. But if someone like you, and that is my insecurity, and it has been so for 42 years, I've got no problem with that. We all have insecurities. We all carry things with us that we're not happy with our bodies, right? But if someone like Hugo come to me and we were having this argument and he went, right, and I had the audacity to say, look, I've struggled with my weight all my life and it really upsets me. You don't know. And this guy has got a disability. I'd have to hang my head in fucking shame and walk away, Dave, because he has something that he was born with. I know psychological things you can carry can be just as bad, but he has a physical thing, which most people judge him on straight away. So that's where I think I am with all this. That's probably why you've got the reaction. And that's completely truthful.
And he would have been on the receiving end of prejudice in his life and growing up. Kids can be fucking cruel, and he would have had some horrible shit thrown at him. Yeah. He's lived through that. He's not done something by choice and then, is a bit sensitive about it. Yeah. And I don't, like you said, I don't have a problem if someone wants to do that to themselves. Good luck to you. The problem I have is the attitude that you have to look like this. That's what irks me a bit. Yeah, I agree. And it's like the model situation, wasn't it? You get the girls who'd be models and someone would have the audacity to say, oh, you're a bit overweight, but they'd be like a size 8 and no fat on them. And that's where you get the eating disorders and stuff like that. That is the more serious issue with something like this. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the bad thing. That is terrible. Exactly. And Chris, I'm very open about my penis reduction surgery. Fuck off. Did you do a nose one day? But anyway. Sorry, I just had it's only 12 now. We were getting a bit serious there. I just had to stick us back in the gutter. Yeah, back in the zone. Back in the trash, Dave. Back in the trash. People might start liking me, so no, don't do that. I tell you what, though, Chris, maybe I'm just seeing it a little bit more, and we'll come on to some of the feedback as well a bit later. But I think I am seeing a little bit more of the misogyny and racism, quite honestly, in how this show is cast, more so than I've seen it in the previous seasons. And what I mean by that is, right, these questions about what work have you had done, right, it's aimed at the women. They've all had fucking work done. It's obvious. And if they hadn't, when they got cast, they probably have, to go in there. They're trying. You are in there for your looks. You're not in there for your personality. It's fucking Love Island, right? So let's not make this like this deep psychological thing, this topic. You are in there for your looks alone. We didn't see a question, Chris, which was, how many of you have been on steroids? Right? Yeah. Because they all have, Chris. Big time. I think with Aaron, it's a bit more obvious because of the nipples, the puffy nipples. You can see he's probably come off his steroid cycle a little bit late. They've all been on steroids to look good. And that's fine. Do it to your body. The guys in there, they all look fucking great, don't they? Yeah. But the framing of the question is to call out the women. And I think that's what's a little bit fucking off in terms of the producers and the casting right now, I think. And I would say, I am a PT and someone who's always trained, but I've never taken gear, mainly for the health risk. If it was healthy and it was legal, then that might be a different conversation. But they're either taking gear, steroids, or growth hormone. Most of them take growth hormone now. I'd call it straight. You can see which ones are they. We've called it before. Who hasn't? I think maybe Toby hasn't. Possibly Hugo might not. Well, but he's got a great body. They've all got great bodies. But you're right, in terms of fakeness, the guys are pretty fake. The bodies and stuff. So yeah,
That is not. You cannot get and sustain a 6-pack. You can't. There's some people have a great metabolism, so it is possible, but you cannot sustain that for the rest of your life. You cannot be under 10% body fat without taking your fucking vitamins. That's just that's a fact of life. So you're right. It's a great argument, to be fair.
I don't think they're on it right now.
No, they're not on it now. No.
The way these things work, you go through a cycle, you build up your body mass. It allows you to train more, so you build up that mass. Your muscles repair quicker, and that's how you get that bulk. And you can keep your body fat down without having to eat tons and tons of your macros and whatever. So that's why I just think it's the whole question was framed at the ladies, and I think with the right, should we get off the whole fucking fake?
Yeah.
We're often calling people out for being fake, but it's more just about their attitudes and personalities, isn't it, and their reasons for being there. I don't think we've had this like plastic surgery type debate before. But should we get on to? I've picked on Aaron a little bit because, just looking for an excuse to get away from Sharon. I thought they had great initial chemistry, but it's just very clear that they're not compatible. Hopefully someone better comes in for both of them who are more kind of suited to them. But can we call out Brad for a second? Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's get back to trusting him because he
deserves it. Is, right. We can all see it. He's full of shit. And you know what, Chris? I see, in the Twitterverse and listening to other podcasts and things, I feel like because Brad is so good looking and pretty, people are searching for an excuse, right, for Brad. They're looking for it. I listen to the official podcast. They're looking for it. Oh, Brad, he's acting this way because he's a bit nervous. No, he's not. He's just full of shit. He's pulling the wool. He is a fuckboy. He's pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. And we all knew that when he said to Rachel, "Oh, you're exactly my type," we all knew he was full of shit. But to have it validated because you get a couple of blonde bombshells walk in, and then he says for like the third fucking time he's in for a hat trick, isn't he? The third time, this is the first time when I've thought, I really want to share a bed with this person. It's like, oh, you bastard. There was a 1% chance that we were wrong and you were actually authentic and what you said you were. But no, you're just full of shit and predictable.
No, and you know what? It's funny because he was talking to Rachel and there's not a lot of chat between them. She seems like she wants a lot of assurance, but everything he said, he didn't do anything. He never spoke to. It was all, she was engaging in the conversation. She was trying to sort of get somewhere where there was a common ground. And then he went back to the guys who went, I'm not feeling it. I feel like I'm doing all the graft. I'm like, what fucking graft are you doing? What are you actually doing other than sitting there and just nodding your head? When they had that conversation and he was looking at it, I knew then, I thought, hey, he's not interested. I knew it anyway, but it was so obvious what was going on. And I think, to be fair, Rachel's asking a lot of questions that not a lot of the contestants do, Dave. She's very upfront about it. I don't know what's going on there. It sort of segues into the fact that the girls go on this sort of afternoon tea thing, don't they? And they go off and they're all there together. And I did completely blindsided by this. Mr. fucking Reality Radar, and Laura went, this is how they introduce new people into. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. And we get Millie and Lucinda. Who's the first one there? Like a fucking dog with two dicks. Fucking Brad, Dave. Straight away over there. He's like, oh, you're just my type. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to hear this. Every girl that he's got to think, yeah, exactly my type. I'm like, oh, you absolute bar steward.
You know what Brad's type is? Just fucking fit. That is his type. And I don't know. It was just so predictable. And, he's sort of saying, she's not a natural blonde. And he was sort of saying, oh, look, there's some roots there. Oh, yeah, just my type. I'm like, what? Is that because you're going to be called out because you said someone with dark features was your type. So a blonde's got a roots showing. So it's like, oh, that's my get out of jail free card. It's like, who do you fucking think you're kidding? So it's just
fucking amazing.
Shallow motherfucker. Honestly.
Shallow motherfucker.
So
you're going on Samuel L. Jackson.
We normally, yeah. I fucking tell you what, Samuel L. Jackson would put him right. I tell you, if he went in there, he'd call that shower of bastards out. So I know we do our social media and emails and stuff at the end, but I want to read out this one from Terrence. Terrence is like us, like, you know, he's fucking into all the reality stuff, but you know, he'll be quick to point out as well when he doesn't agree with us. So he says, great episode. I think you got the Brad and Rachel situation wrong. They've only been together 24 hours, and she asked him what he would do if another guy came for her. He told her naturally to explore her options. And what's wrong with saying she's a 9? So in a vacuum, I think telling a girl, like, in a vacuum, if you walked up to someone, and I don't know if that would be my opening line, but if you said someone was 9 out of 10, it's fucking good, that, isn't it?
Of course it is.
I think the problem is, you know, one of your previous podcasts, Chris, was called the contextual podcast, wasn't it? You know, it was all about the context that something's given in.
Yeah.
Rachel is fucking doubtful that she's had to make a choice of 2. Again, I think that was a bit of a shit move on the producer's side. She's not really given, they've not given her a real choice. Normally, they just put them in there and say, you know, mingle, you're going to couple up with someone tomorrow and make your choice. No, they basically gave her Brad and fucking Chugs, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
What sort of fucking choice is that? But she is thinking, like, have I made the right call here? And this guy, who I thought was a fuckboy, but he's saying all the right things to me. He's convincing me that he's this really nice guy. He's this really sweet guy. But in the back of her head, right, when she's not thinking with her fanny, Chris, she's thinking, have I actually made the right choice here? Because my gut said he was a fuckboy. But, oh, God damn it, he's so pretty. I want to believe it. And so I think in that moment, whether Brad even thinks that she's a 10 or 9 or a fucking 7, whatever he thinks, I think the only appropriate response in that context is 10.
Yeah.
Now, to fucking almost cut the legs off my own argument, you could say, well, then if Brad, you know, chose someone else in the future, then he's possibly made that situation worse. So I guess, you know, so which possibly shoots down my own argument. But for me, I thought the appropriate response there was 10, and it didn't need to be followed up with the comment "room for improvement." I mean, what does that mean? She should get her tits done. You know? What does that mean, Brad? So, what do you say to that, Chris?
I think you're right. That, look, there's 2 numbers you could give there. If you're from the UK, when you say he should have said a 10, as you said, or he should have said a 1. And when you say, as Ian Sterling said, or we talked about this on the last episode, he would give a 1, that means he would sleep with her. And that's like I don't think I've ever heard it in America, but it's a UK sort of not slimy, but it's also like a slang type comment in it, meaning basically you will sleep with them. Yeah. I mean, it's probably lad talk, isn't it? You know, yeah. So I'd give her 1. That's you know, so it's not a 1 out of it's not a 1 out of 10, is it? It's no, it means
give her again. It's a fucking terrible. The more I think about it, it's terrible because it's not like you're both on equal par. But anyway, Chris, Brad doesn't have the witticism to come up with that, you know, on the fly. But that would have been a good response. But yeah, I think a 10. I think that's. But in a normal situation, 9 out of 10. Most of us would be fucking delighted dancing a jig with that one, wouldn't we?
If someone said you're a 5, you could do with a nip, get to the gym, stop eating, maybe shut your nose out or something. Then we'd have an argument.
Yeah.
Then it'd be like, fucking hell, right, well, I'm going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
maybe 20 years ago, you'd have been a 6.
You'd have been all right. Fucking hell. But I think as well, one of the things when I watched Liam and Faye together, it's like pulling teeth. And there was a little section there where Faye come and sat down with Liam, and Liam went, all right. And she went, yeah, all right. He went, all right. How are you? She's like, and this is my Welsh accent, by the way. She went, yeah, I'm fine. You all right? Yeah, fine. Yeah. All right, okay. You sure you're all right? Yeah, I'm fine. And he sat there not speaking after this little fucking really awkward exchange. And then he went to the diary room thing and went, oh, she don't half keep me on my toes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know. And I'm thinking, this is not what I'm seeing on the TV. It is completely the opposite. It's like, there's nothing between them. But he's like, oh, yeah, she really, really is, really interesting girl. I'm like, oh, there's something that we're missing.
Getting better. Really? Because that's not what we see.
She said, all right, 3 times. She must be okay with me. But yeah, I didn't get that at all. I think he's really dull, Liam, I must admit.
And what was the whole thing? She was asking him about coupling up with someone else who's already coupled up with something like that. And
he was talking about sleeping. Yeah. He was talking about like DMing people and stuff, basically saying that she said you're a dog or something. You're a dirty dog or something like that, didn't she? Something along them lines.
Yeah, but he was like, well, if they're up for it.
Oh, but what?
And it's like, oh, you fucking chivalrous bastard, you.
You know what I love though, and it wasn't last night's episode when he said she went, well, what's your ambition relationship? Now he's 21. He went, he's 21. He went, yeah, what been a relationship by 26? And Faye's like, hang on, 5 years. So I was just like, Liam, cut it, son. But however, the girls go on the date. This was the most obvious thing that was going to happen. One of the girls says, should we send the guys a selfie? Not realising, Dave, or do they, that there is 2 new girls there. So the lads go, should we should we do a selfie? And we've got Millie and Lucinda on the picture. And it was like, this is so blatantly obvious they've been told to do this. The girls might not have known, but the guys certainly known, Dave, straight away, like, this is going to cause shit.
The girls didn't know. We're going on a brunch. We've never fucking seen this show before, so we're going to go away. What could happen?
Yeah.
Something always fucking happens when they go away and out of the villa. So, yeah, I don't know whether they've just lost themselves there, but they've all watched the fucking show. They're all quite rehearsed. So I don't see this as, I'm not buying that kind of shock that they had. It's like, oh, there's a couple of other girls in the villa. And I tell you what, Chris, old Rachel there, she came in like all guns blazing, plenty of sass, plenty of confidence. She looked like she could read the boys and I think unfortunately she's just fallen to Brad's charms and so she's been a bit fucking, well, I say his charms, his looks. And she's really quite insecure, isn't she? Yeah,
she is, to be fair. She is. So I don't think it's going to get any better for their old Dave, because I think this is the end of their relationship now.
But honestly, Chris, the guys in here are just a bit crap. And I tell you what they could use, Chris. They could use the advice of a professional ballroom dancer. Because I actually think someone like Curtis...
Come and sit with me now. Come on. Come and
put these.
Let's have a chat. Come on.
He might put some of these boys straight because, Jake is acting like a bit of a tool. Again, I think he's watched the previous seasons. He thinks what he's doing is, he's being open and honest. But it's just fucking disrespectful what he's doing to Liberty. He's almost saying like, well, you're an 8 out of 10. You're my type. But, you are an 8, aren't you? So if someone else comes in who's a 9 or a 10, well, I'm going to get to know them, aren't I? So he's justifying his future actions. And he's trying to soften it by saying, well, you can do it as well, Yeah. Whereas she's like, well, actually, I was just kind of liking just getting to know you. So Yeah, obviously, they send in two blonde bombshells, don't they? And, Jake's fucking like a dog with two dicks, as is Brad, as is fucking Liam.
They all are, I think, Dave.
I think they all are. The only one who's like properly not coupled up, is Hugo. He's in a friendship couple with Chloe. He's the only one justified in like turning it up to 10. And I think, Chris, there's just no couple, is there, that's going to last this? And I don't recall a previous Love Island season from UK, from USA, from Australia, where you've just got no couples who are going to last the fucking week.
No, that's what I said to you. I don't think any of them will be together. I've said it a couple of times. No. I do think that, but
you do say that in every season.
It's not the point, Dave. At some point, I'm going to get it right. How dare you? How dare you? No, so let's tell you what, Dave. Just quickly, shall we do a little Curtis impression? So I've done a little bit of Curtis. Have you got it in you? Just what would Curtis do now, other than come prancing across the Love Island stage and doing his dancing and stuff? What
do you remember
that dance?
The big fucking Prince Julian or King Julian from
yeah.
What was it? It's not Despicable Me. What's the I like to move it. What is that fucking cartoon called? Madagascar. That's it, isn't it? And I saw this meme, and someone had got that picture of Curtis when he's got the big King Julian hat on, and it's like me when I've come home from walking down the middle aisle at Aldi. That's the best.
That's so fucking true. That's so true. But
God, Chris, I love that middle aisle. But go on. Let's get into our Curtis impressions then.
Right, I think you should go first. Oh, me, I'm going first, am I? Right, okay. Here we go. Curtis Pritchard, take 1. So I'm going to speak to Brad. Brad, come on, come and have a chat. I think what you're doing is wrong, and you're treating Rachel with no respect at all. I think you need some dance lessons. Get to know her. And this sounds nothing like him, Dave. Get to know her and do a little chat together, and everything will be fine. But if you need me, come and see me, okay?
I can't top that, Chris.
You're fucking not going to do it, you wanker. No. You fucking wanker. I knew it as soon as
He's just going to say, all you lads, right, are a bit fucking shit, aren't you? So get the fuck out, so they can fly someone else in. And actually, Chris, so Lauren put in a good comment on the Discord last night. She was saying, given they're running the US Love Island at almost the same time as the UK Love Island, Casa Amor should be a swap. It should be a crossover. So all the guys go and meet let's say all the UK guys go and meet the American girls, and all the US guys go and meet the UK girls. That'd be fucking brilliant, Chris.
It would, but I think the American one's in Hawaii. That's the only problem. Because they used to do it in the...
But if they set off... If they set off to do that, then they'd have it in the same fucking place, wouldn't they?
It would. That makes sense, wouldn't it? But no, that's a great point. That'd be the ultimate crossover, that, wouldn't it? That'd be brilliant. So, good point.
You've got real stakes in it then, haven't you? You're like, it's not just, 5 random women and 5 random blokes coming in, or however many. It's probably about 8, isn't it? So I don't know. I think that I don't think it'd ever work because of the different franchises and what have you. But I think that'd be great.
It would, to be fair. Now, Dave, we have had an email, and I want you to bow down because the Queen has come back, Dave, to the podcast. We've had an email from Kayla Monsanto as well. So welcome back, Kayla. I know she does listen in. I think she said last time she listened in when she's on the subway in New York, one of my favourite cities, as it is yours, Dave. So it's quite a good email, this. So she's put an email. So excited for this season and the podcast. Hey, guys, just got up on the show and podcast. I definitely missed it. Well, this season is definitely interesting. The guys seem to get worse and worse every season. When will the show start bringing in guys that like black women? I don't know why this show is on its 7th season. Parodying inclusivity with 3 black girls they bring on every season, and then bringing guys who are only attracted to white blonde women. Mm-hmm. This show gets thousands of submissions, and this is the best they can do. I love the commentary and look forward to watching the show from New York along with you guys. Kayla, in brackets, the former queen, Dave. So she needs to make a comeback on the emails and we will reappoint her as the queen.
Kayla was prolific, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Was it season 6? I think it was. So, Chris, she's got a fucking point. I mean, so I called out the misogyny before and I said racism, but I didn't call out any specifics. But I think that is it. They are acting as if it's inclusive, because you got black girls, or let's say girls of color, guys of color, both in there. And then the producers can have plausible deniability. It's like, well, it's not up to us who they pick, but it is because you cast the fuckers. And, we've called out The Bachelor because Matt James from episode 1, he sat down, first black bachelor, sits down and basically tells the world, I'm going to pick a white woman. That's essentially what that discussion was with Chris Harrison. He's dated white women before, and he's worried about how he's going to be perceived because he's going to pick a white woman because that's his type. So they know coming into these shows. And I think it's fucking disingenuous to put people in who are clearly people like Brad, who says, yeah, I have Rachel, she's exactly my type, to make Rachel choose from these couple of douchebags, right? She didn't have a choice about it. She has to pick one of those. She'd probably pick Brad anyway, but you know what I mean? She's forced into that choice. And then Brad, whose type clearly isn't Rachel, the first fucking new girls that come in, he's fucking round them like flies around shit. So I think it is a problem. Now, yeah. So I don't know what to say about it because I still love the fucking show, but it does need to sort itself out on that front.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a brilliant email. So thank you, Kelly, for getting back in touch and keep them coming. Keep them coming. So Dave, big thanks to our patrons as well. Patreon.com/CD Reality Cast. We're going to do the roll call of honor to all our great supporters. We've got Ed Rost, Mr. David Brent. We've got Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy Green, Haley, Tracy, Lauren. We've got Lucky Lulu Green and we've got Ken Gustafson. So thank you guys for supporting us. Big thanks over on Facebook, as always, to Charlene and our Facebook page, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. And if you do want to follow us on social media and get involved in the chat, at CD Reality Cast on social media. And then if you want an email in like Kayla, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. Getting longer and longer, this social bit at the end, Dave. We must be doing something. Right?
It's fucking awesome. I do love the chat, like the ongoing series chat that we have. Chris, that message that you said you were going to read out yesterday on the Bachelor podcast?
And I didn't read it out.
Yeah. Did you want to maybe read that one?
Thank you, David. Yes, I am not checking my computer as we talk, trying not so you can hear me clicking. But let me find this email, this message. Sorry, you fucking dropped me right.
From that well-known Jean-Claude Van Damme character that led us to believe something was pronounced one way, but it's not.
It was wrong. So this is from Kristen Dux. We called it Dukes because it was DUX. We apologise, Kristen. So she's DM'd us. Hi, Chris and Dave. Thanks for reading out my tweet on the podcast. I've been a keen listener since the beginning, in brackets, the Love Island cast. I must, however, request a correction. Ducks is pronounced like the animal ducks. Wish I could watch the show live, but I live in Australia and I can't handle getting up at 6 a.m. in the dead of the winter every day. To be honest, our winter is probably the same as your summer days. Keep up the good work and maybe I'll send an email. P.S. If Katie actually develops feelings for Blake, the human incarnation of Scully from Monsters, Inc., I'm going to issue a complaint because he is, part of my language, fake as fuck. Cheers, Kristen. So thank you, Kristen, for that. And correcting us. You're right to do that. So really good.
Awesome. And we also had a message from Khaleesi Brock. And she says, speaking of accents, have you noticed how Chloe's accent has changed since she first joined the group? Her words were so drawn out, it almost sounded like she was singing. It was like she was trying to sound posh, but it didn't work. Now, had you noticed this, Chris?
No, I didn't, to be honest. A great observation. I mean, it it'd be too late now. She's gone, but I'd have to probably go back one of the episodes. But I've not noticed that. No.
Yeah, I hadn't picked up on that, to be honest. I mean, again, I know when she came in and she met all the boys and stuff, she's probably quite nervous, doing the same as people do for Brad, making excuses. But I do think in that setting, like she was going on about she's from Oxford but she works in London and stuff. I'm not going to go back and watch it, Chris, but I'll believe it. That probably she was making herself try and be a little bit more posh than she was. But she hasn't had that much screen time, has she? She's not really been front and center. She's kind of been on the periphery of the last few episodes.
Yeah, she has, to be fair. So interesting that, Dave. I don't think she's done anything wrong, to be fair.
Well, no, other than the other guys all saying, they quite happily couple up with her, seems to paint a target on her back. There's nothing she can do about it, is there? So,
no.
But I tell you what, Chris, like I say, favourite episode so far, even though fucking hate all of them.
Brilliant.
Hate's a strong word. I don't hate them. I'm just like, oh, fucking hell. Are you serious? And come on, there has to be some strong couple coming out of this. I think Toby and Kaz probably are the only couple who resemble something, that have some kind of foundations that can be grown. But that's it. And certainly they don't qualify for me as a strong couple yet. So, let's see what drama, the girls coming in will bring, because I'm guessing plenty of it. And, I'm already preparing myself, fucking Jake the bastard. Jake the bastard, actually that fits, doesn't it? He's going to break Liberty's heart, isn't he?
Yeah. That's coming, Dave. It's definitely coming, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've done a long one today, Dave. I hope everyone, if you agree or disagree, like I say, get in contact with us. It's great to chat. So, Mr. Horrocks, I will see you tomorrow.
Bye now.